Here with us now to further break down the impact of President Biden's visit is Brian Rothenberg, former spokesperson for the UAW. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys for having me.
So we know the president joining those picket lines today is the first time that we've seen a sitting president joining an ongoing strike. How major would you say this move is?
Well, I do think it's major, but it's not a surprise. I mean, Joe Biden's first announcement when he ran for office for the U.S. Senate was in a UAW facility in Delaware. And frankly, he walked the picket line in 2019. He's the first president that I've ever seen that always talks about unions and the importance of joining unions. And he's the first president that I've known of that actually tried to get passed incentives so that it was called the Kill Stabenow Act. And the idea was to incentivize for electric vehicles that were built by union members in America. I've never seen anything like that before. It got killed by Republicans in the Senate about a year ago.
So, do you think that the president being here and speaking with the strikers will have any influence at all on the automakers?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, I do think it puts more pressure on the automakers. I think the fact that both the president and ex-president are coming here, they're all sort of sounding similar allegiance to the workforce. I do think it's a little disingenuous of the former president, President Trump, only because, he's advocated in the past that instead of going to Mexico, you can send jobs to non-union plants in the South that pay less, and we'll be begging for those jobs back in Michigan. He said that at the Detroit Economic Club back in 2016. So but I do think it's important to the workers. Ultimately, it's the workers strike. It's them that vote on this. They make this decision. It's their employment contract. So in the end, we will have a good contract.
Now, we've heard Sean Fain say the public is on our side. Now, seeing that the president is standing behind them as well, do you think that there's any symbolism in that?
Well, it's amazing that even people that don't support unions in that most recent poll that I saw actually support the striking workers here. I think there is a general feeling among people that blue collar workforce, that people who work really hard need to be compensated. And I do think that there's a little bit of resentment over some of the large profits and the Wall Street profits, Wall Street buybacks, huge contracts given to CEOs. And this is the time right now with these to make up some of the sacrifices that people gave up back in the 2008, 2009 to 2011 period.
Well, Brian, you referenced a little while ago some of the comments that Trump made the last time when we were in a similar situation. Do you think tomorrow when he arrives that he'll address any of the strikers, maybe eat some of those words, or just reiterate what he said the first time?
I think he's pretty consistent, and here's the thing. In every poll I ever saw in the UAW, Donald Trump every Republican got about 33% of the vote. 33% of the vote was for the Democrats, and 33% were in the middle. I just don't think he was ever able to pull as much as you thought. I think he's trying to pull sentiment from maybe people that non-union workers and others in that direction. But, I think if you're going to come here, walk with the workforce, go on the strike line. Joe Biden did the right thing. You don't do press conferences, you don't do rallies, and you don't say, I'm supporting you, but I'm not going to support you actually getting the pay that you need. And that is sort of the irony of the Trump visit.
As a former spokesperson, you are used to being that liaison or voice piece for that group. Seeing everything that is happening and these visitors that we have, any message that you have for them tonight?
Well, the biggest message I have for everybody is stay the course. This is an employment contract. This is the right time. It can be a win-win contract for the companies too. And I believe that this is a solvable issue. And I believe that we'll get there. The one caution I have is that it's great that all this attention is on the UAW right now, but with the government shutdown, some of those satellite trucks are going to leave, and we just need to keep up the activism here so that you can get the best contract possible. But ultimately, it's not up to these politicians. It's not even up to the companies, and and President Fain. It's up to you, the worker. And I hope you get what you need and what you deserve.
All right, Mr. Brian Rothenberg, thank you for your time.
Thank you.